The Nigerian Content Act is a law targeted at promoting local participation in the oil and gas industry. The act provides exclusive consideration for Nigerian indigenous service companies, which demonstrate ownership of high-tech equipment, Nigerian personnel, and capacity to execute jobs in the Nigerian oil and gas industry. Hello and thanks for joining us on your business and economy review program, Economy Today. I am Elizabeth Ocheme. On today's edition of the program, we will illustrate the operations of Orlean Invest Group, a major player in the oil and gas free zone with huge investment to ensure that the industry provides local value and maximize benefits to Nigerians. Please join us.
For further details and advert placements, please call 01 453 1070 or 0803 091 3407. Economy Today, bringing you the best.
The Orlean Port Complex is designed as oil and gas free zone as stipulated in Decree No. 6 of 1996 by the Federal Government of Nigeria. Currently, over 100 oil and gas and related services companies are licensed to operate in the zone. One dynamic and international standard-driven organization committed to building and maintaining strong, mutually beneficial partnerships aimed at developing oil and gas resources while building human capacity is the Orlean Invest Group. The port consists of two terminals, Federal Lighter Terminal (FLT) and Federal Ocean Terminal (FOT). Adamu Atiku is the Business Development Director, Orlean Invest, and the Deputy Managing Director, Intels Nigeria Limited.
As both names depict, the Federal Lighter Terminal back then was designed specifically to receive smaller vessels, smaller ships that needed a shallow draft to be able to come in and berth, while the Ocean Terminal was designed specifically for larger ocean-going vessels that needed a deeper draft for them to sail in safely. So that's where the two names come in, Federal Ocean Terminal and Federal Lighter Terminal. Those two ports or terminals were in existence, but in a deplorable state.
However, what started as a jetty operation have today become a world-class oil and gas service center, transformed by Orlean Invest Group, popularly referred to as the jewel in the crown of Nigeria's offshore logistics support industry. Simeone Volpe is the acting managing director, Intels.
We were already specializing into the oil and gas, as I was explaining before, in receiving cargo, storing cargo, and supply cargo to either a truck or to a supply vessel at the quayside for, to support the exploration and production activities. After that, we have created another company called Prodeco, which stands for Property Development Company. The idea came about because, of course, we were engaged in a quite capital-intensive project, meaning to develop and expand the port facilities and residential facility as well. As you can see, we have a camp facility also inside the free zone. And we decided to set up this civil construction company at the end of the day to be able to control the speed of the investment and also to be able to be more efficient, because you don't need also only to build, but you need to maintain facilities. That's why we prefer to set up our company. So we decided to implement free zone statuses within Nigeria in the ports. We created a company called DMS, which basically was acting as consultant to the authorities. DMS is still existing, and they're still having an excellent working relationship with the government, and they're managing the free zone. So third company was added to the group. We needed to have a category company mainly to guarantee services within our residential facilities, because as you may understand, you cannot have an efficient camp without a restaurant, a supermarket, housing, keeping services, and so on. So we created the fourth company. And a few years ago we decided also to invest in a new organization called Africa Machinery Services. The concept of this company is to, well, we invested more than $200 million in a state-of-the-art workshop area, which is actually quite big, 200,000 square meters of area with 45,000 square meters of covered space, with workshops, all the, I'm sorry, I'm not really an engineer, so I don't know, all the machinery is needed to maintain, repair, equipment, basically. The concept of this company is to do both maintenance and services to equipment, as well as fleet management for the oil and gas industry.
Mike Epele is the General Manager, Legal, Corporate, Contracts and Compliance.
So we have what is called an industry-wide standard tariff. It is a product of intense negotiation, moderated by NAPIMS, between our major clients, the oil companies, and ourselves. At the end of the day, some consensus is reached between the parties, and rates are agreed across the board, and indeed fixed over the years for 4 years in each case. So rates are agreed today, they will apply for a period of 4 years. If there will be any increase in the course of the year, is already agreed in advance. In fact, the rates to be paid up to 2021 have already been agreed as of December 2015.
For close to 30 years, Orlean Invest Group has aggressively capitalized on its ingenuity and human technical abilities to develop the oil and gas industry in Nigeria with services that meet and surpass clients' needs.
Well, one thing we have been very good at over the years is anticipating the needs of the industry. And you do this knowing very well your market. You need to have medium and long-term visibility on the new and upcoming drilling campaigns, major projects to be embarked on, and you need to put a strategy in place to be able to at least plug into some of these projects, so to say. So having a very good idea and understanding of the market do help us a lot in planning ahead and being able to cater with the various needs of the industry. And these needs are so dynamic. One operator's needs could be completely different from another operator's needs. That's why I said we're a very unique company in the sense that we provide customized, bespoke, tailor-made solutions for the industry, logistic solutions for the industry.
Sunny Wama is a General Manager, DMS Nigeria, an arm of the group with first-class know-how for free zone management.
DMS, as facilitator of the free zone, we have made it its top priority in our policy that companies in the free zone must comply with local content policies. What is local content after all? Domiciliation of the spend of Nigerian economy. And what is free zone? Anybody can look at free zone, yes, foreign territory. Foreign territory, physically, where is it? It's in Nigeria. And so before even the local content board, monitoring board was created, the free zone has become a forerunner. Why? because the free zone has tried to bring all the foreign integration of materials that are used to drill oil, or all the components of oil requirement, have tried to bring them into this soil, though classified as foreign territory, but they are done in Nigerian shores. And so we have created employment generation. Apart from employment generation, we have also encouraged capacity and skills acquisition. And so how do we do this? By bringing the expatriates here to teach and partner with Nigerians, such that the things that are done hitherto in China, I can tell you, take example of pipe threading and pipe coating. It's been done in Argentina before this time, but today they are all done here, and this is a forerunner to the policy of the local content.
Taking advantage of the federal government's intention to increase indigenous participation in the petroleum industry by signing into law on the 22nd of April 2010, the Nigerian Content Act for the oil and gas sector in terms of human materials and economic resources. Intel's Nigeria Limited offers a one-stop shop solution to add value to client needs. For Mike Epele, the organization is indeed well positioned to help clients significantly reduce transport and handling costs, as well as minimize risk of cargo damage.
Part of what local content tries to promote is that both manpower and equipment, all the materials, as far as possible, that you utilize in providing services in the oil and gas industry will be from Nigeria, as far as practicable. Wherever possible, let it be, in country. We have been doing this over the years, and we believe very much in the policy of government on local content, and we are following it rigidly. Most of our contracts, virtually all our contracts with companies, there's a requirement for you to show your local content level of compliance.
Sheni Edu is the General Manager, Eco Support Services.
Yes, Eco Support Services Limited was established in 2005. They had a port concessioning program in 2005. And this area was dilapidated, so it wasn't part of the initial concessioning program because there was no jetty, the whole structures were in disrepair. So a group of investors, in partnership with Mr. Gabriel Volpi from Orlean Invest, decided to invest in this facility. We got an initial 5-year lease from MPA. With the 5-year lease, we said we'll use it for some small operations between Lagos and the offshore operations that were geographically close enough to here to support. And we just maintained the jetty ourselves initially with some local repairs, and just really did a lot of warehousing, stack area, and small vessels. In 2008 or 2006, we put in an application to MPA to redevelop the facility. It was initially part of their own redevelopment plan. They had phase 1 and phase 2. Eco Support was in the Bullnose area, as it is known, was in phase 2. But unfortunately, they couldn't do that before the concessioning. So we adopted their own plan and said, look, we'll develop the facility and we'll amortize the investment over time if you give us a 20-year lease. So because of the slowness and the difficulties and the different agencies in government, it took some time. In fact, we had to start again. Went all the way to Federal Executive Council, came back, and 2011 is when we got our approval. So but during that time, we spent a lot of money to keep the place going, knowing that we need to develop capacity and do what we wanted to do and what our clients wanted us to do. We needed to rebuild the jetty and the stacking area and other areas.
Incorporated in March 1996, Property Development Company Limited, Prodeco, originally established as an in-house construction arm of the group, is today a major player in the oil service sector, as clients are offered services in line with best global practices in the biggest oil and gas free zone in the world, ranging from 1 to 4 bedroom apartments.
International standard must be respected, so the oil and gas, they are more focused on the safety and the quality of the job that we are performing. This is also another added value that working with the oil company we are having, so we are obliged to respect the high standard, and we are applying the same high standard requested by the international oil company also to our activity. Plus the follow-up and the management of the organization through the ISO certification that I mentioned to you. We are ISO registered since 2009. So it was a long process, and we are following every year because we have to renew the registration under ISO every year. So we are under continuous control of our quality in performing the job. This is quite, I don't want to say that it's unique, but it's something more because apart the big organization, in Nigeria the middle-sized company, construction company, they have a long way to reach this level of quality, and we are doing with the local people. This is important to say. I would like that the Nigerian content will be applicable to all the companies for whatever is to be done, because so in this case you are bringing the people from a very low level, you are bringing them up.
Leveraging on the Local Content Policy Act, Orlean Invest Group, through the Pipe Coaters Nigeria Limited, arm of the group, deploys and maintains cutting-edge technology to improve overall efficiency of its clients' needs in record time. Femi Famure is a finance and admin manager, Prodeco.
The nature of our job requires that we employ all cadres of workers, starting from those who we want to call trainees or helpers, that is, those who might not have actually gone to any school or might not have acquired any form of education. They come over here, and they see the place as a technical school, where if you come in around, you pick any trade you want to join, from tiling, masonry, fitting, painting, and all that. But after a few years, let's say 2 to 3 years, if that particular helper is diligent and is focused, he becomes a master in that field. And we immediately change his title from being a helper to either a fitter or a substantive person. And the career goes from there.
When we started again specializing in the oil and gas, we noticed that most of the oil producing companies and service companies were importing cargo to the port, taking their cargo to an outside yard, to then most of the times bring it back to the port to send it offshore. So the logistic and handling cost was amazing. Our idea and our concept, which is still the same one from the beginning, was to create a place whereby you could receive your material, store your material until it's needed, or assemble your material, change the nature of adding value to the material, especially from when Orlean was declared as a free zone, because it's bringing a lot of benefits in terms of taxations, expatriate quota, and so on. So this actually allowed even more industrial activities in the port. Anyway, the idea has always been to create a one-stop shop, whereby a producing company such as Total or ExxonMobil or Chevron, Texaco, or they're all supporting their activities out of Orlean, could receive cargo. At the same time, could have a number of vendors, that's how they normally are called, suppliers, which can also import, store, and sell their products at the right moment in one area. And by logic, this area was to be in a port, because 90% of the material is actually imported by shipping lines. So the most logical approach was to eventually create an industrial area within a port area. And this is our concept and our vision, if you like, and this has not changed. Of course it has developed, because in the meantime, as technology improved, as local content demanded more and more technology and know-how to be present in Nigeria, and with all due modesty, I believe our group has assisted in a way in reaching the level we are now.
Henry Andrew is a control and verification specialist.
We ensure that we comply with standard specifications in the market, in the industry, and we ensure that our equipments are up to date in terms of calibration, in terms of upgrade. Recently, we bought a new equipment for measuring specific heat capacity test, which we were actually doing outside Nigeria, but today we are measuring this test verification in Nigeria, and I can go on and give you, a lot of improvements that we have made in the industry. We have a lot of training that are specialized on the coating. We have what we call coating inspector program, which is one of the best inspector program we have in the industry. And as I speak to you right now, we have 2 of our inspectors. They have the highest certification level in this course. And from time to time, we undergo training on regular basis, classroom, online.
The Nigerian Content Act stipulates that every company executing a project in a community must establish a project office in that community with an attendant retention of locally created Nigerian content, which in turn stimulates the growth of the local communities, including associated derivatives from oil and gas production. Orlean Invest Group makes huge investments in training the personnel to meet up with development in the oil and gas industry.
Trying to promote human capital development. As we all know, your employees are your most important assets. So what we do is to heavily invest in them by sending them on training, refresher courses. As is today, we have just recently completed a multi-million-dollar training facility. So this is all aimed at harnessing and recruiting young, competent, smart individuals that could come and help us with our growth.
Presently, the group have contributed immensely to the growth and development of the Nigerian economy by way of wealth creation, employment generation, and a conducive working environment, and setting the standard for all the clients in the oil service sector. As part of its oversight function to ensure enhanced service delivery in a manner that will stimulate the growth of the domestic economy, Malam Ahmed Yerima, Chairman, House Committee on Privatization and Commercialization, was on a farm tour of the world-class facility, and he bears his mind on the projects.
I feel very comfortable that we are going to work together in reaching to terms of this work, terms of reference, in making progress in all areas that are necessary to push Nigeria forward and resolve most of the conflicting issues that are pending in concessions and private sector, and what the government should do to support the private sector and what the private sector should do to promote the Nigerian economy. Number 2, they have taken us around to see the facilities that they are managing, and they explain their constraints and where they want the house to intervene and find solutions to the common problems. And also, in the terms of the reference of our work, we're trying to see that we build a kind of a bridge. The government wins and the business also promotes together the economy of this country. They have to have a middle ground of working together. Essentially, this is the main mission. And looking at the facility, it's really very modern, though I'm not an expert in facility management and the equipment and all these things, but they did their best to explain how they operate, how they work, and all these things. So I'm very impressed with the way they explained to me the pattern. Though I'm not an expert on those areas, but still I appreciate those areas.
Orlean Invest Group places high priority on health and safety of staff. Tayo Oyedeme is a yard coordinator, pipe coaters.
One of the major things we do is to support the production team. You know, because every day we do planning of what are the projects we have in hand to be coated. Based on this, we need to also plan what are the required equipment that will be needed for them to move all the raw materials from the warehouse to the production unit, equipment to move the beer pipes from the incoming stacking to where the pipes is going to be coated. So, as a matter of fact, by the time you take all this into consideration, you discover that you have a whole lot of responsibility in making sure that what we forecasted at the beginning of the day is exactly what is achieved at the end of the day, at the end of the production shift. And in addition to that, as part of the yard responsible, what we do is to be sure that people work in a safe way, okay, irrespective of the target we set for ourselves. In order to meet up with their production expectations, we have to be sure that it is done in a safe manner.
There is no doubt that Orlean Invest Group is very much committed to the oil and gas free zone concept, taking advantage of the Nigerian Content Act. With a comprehensive service provision, cost saving, community infrastructures, skills acquisition through technology transfer, which result in career opportunities and further job training, Nigeria will continue to serve as the natural resource region hub and leader. That's how it's been on this edition of the program. For further information about the program, you can visit our website www.promantraservices.com. You can like us on our Facebook page, Economy Today on NTAI. And to watch our previous episode, please visit www.youtube.com/Economy Today on NTAI. On behalf of the rest of the crew, I say thank you to our esteemed sponsors. I remain Elizabeth Ocheme. Remain blessed.